You want to go to battle with Jesus? John chapter 8 talks about a battlefield where we find mercy confronting judgment, truth versus deception, and in Jesus revealing his identity with thunder. This isn't that soft Jesus that we see in paintings. This is the great I am standing in the middle of human darkness. Hey, good morning. This is Rod with RA Salt and Silver. Today we're going to go over John chapter 8. This is one of my favorite chapters in all the Bible. There's so much information in here. There's so many good stories and things to go over. Um, so I'll break all the things down individually after we finish with the book. But today we're just going to go and kind of highlight the whole chapter. Once again, this is Rod with RA Salt and Silver. Please comment, like, subscribe so that others can get to the Word of Jesus. That's what I'm here for. Well, let's get started. So we're going to start off about a woman that got caught in adultery. So the religious leaders, they took her to Jesus, drug her in. She was terrified, humiliated. And the leaders didn't care about her. They wanted to trap Jesus. That was their whole goal, like pretty much on everything they did at this point. They're like, teacher, Moses says to stone her. What do you say? So Jesus gets down on his knees, starts writing in the dust. Now, we don't know what he wrote. There's a lot of speculations that I've heard, but we don't know for sure. And then he says, let the ones without sin cast the first stone. Immediately, there was silence. Pitter patter of sandal feet walking away. The dropping of stones. And he turns to her and he says, neither do I condemn you. Go and sin no more. So this is truly the heart of God here, right? I mean, we're seeing mercy without compromise, grace without pretending it's okay for sin, or that sin isn't harmless. So then Jesus stands in the temple and he declares, I'm the light of the world. And he didn't say he was a teacher, prophet, some sort of moral compass. Like he said he was the light. What do lights do, right? Lights expose what's in the darkness. So he exposes every lie and every shadow and every chain. So they start trying to attack his credibility. And Jesus answers again with great authority. You judge according to the flesh. You know neither me nor my Father. So here, this shows us again, light doesn't negotiate with darkness. It exposes the darkness. We all have a little darkness, but Jesus can expose it. And Jesus is the only way I've ever found to get rid of those things in the darkness. Now, then Jesus says, if you abide in my word, you will know the truth. And the truth will set you free. Now they start protesting. We've never been slaves. And Jesus cuts through their pride and says, everyone who sins is a slave to sin. Now, once again, he wasn't talking about what they thought, right? They were thinking back to being in Rome, and the Romans had slaves and places that they conquered over the years. But he's talking about the chains inside our human hearts. And the ancestors of the Jews had been slaves in Egypt, in Babylon, in Greece, lots of different places, right? But this isn't about politics. This is a different kind of freedom. This is spiritual freedom. And only Jesus can break those chains. So now the argument starts to escalate. And they start claiming Abraham. And this is where Jesus exposes their hearts. If you were Abraham's children, you would do what Abraham did. But then that's when he goes a little bit farther. You are of your father, the devil. Now, he called them the devil. And this isn't soft or safe or unfiltered. Jesus spoke the truth to them, though. And then this was the final part. The chapter ends with the most explosive declaration in the whole gospel. Because they ask him, "Who do you think you are?" And he answers with eternity in his voice. Before Abraham was I am. Not just the I was, or I could be, or I existed. He said I am. And I am was the name of God. That was the voice from the burning bush when Moses asked his name. So the crowd started grabbing stones because they knew exactly what he just said. They knew exactly what that meant. John chapter 8 removes all the doubt. This is where Jesus says, "I'm not just a man. I'm God in the flesh." So in closing, John chapter 8 is a chapter of confrontation where you see mercy for broken people, judgment for proud people, freedom for those people enslaved, and revelation for those that are actually seeking. The light of the world doesn't just shine. He exposes, he reveals, but more importantly, he saves. And he still speaks those same words for us today. Whoever follows me will not walk in the darkness, but will have the light of life. Hey, this is Rod with RA Salt and Silver. See you on the next one.